Hiring a freelancer for a technical or automation project can be a great move, but things often go badly wrong when it's treated as a one-off job, then the person disappears. And the biggest issue isn't usually the freelancer's skill level, it's hourly billing, unclear support, and them getting booked up with other work. So in this video, I'm going to go through the 3 big risks and how to avoid them. So first one, and this is a big one, and that is if they charge hourly. Software and technical projects are notoriously hard to estimate for how many hours and days it's going to take. Even with seasoned and experienced engineers, it's very tough. So it's a little bit different if it's only, say, 6 hours they've estimated, because if it ends up taking 8 or 10, that's not going to be the end of the world and break a budget, I'd imagine. For anything beyond a trivial item, I'd recommend getting a fixed quote from them and insisting upon a fixed quote. If they can't offer this, I'd seriously consider just looking elsewhere. The downside with a fixed quote is that it's going to take a little bit more time to agree on, because they and you are going to want to find out exactly what's going to be included in the project. And because technical things can, they can be simple, they can get very, very complex. You'll want to agree on what's not in scope for this. I'd consider most things as a round one, work out what's going to go into round one and what's going to be excluded from it, and get a price from there. This is one that I'm going to put the blame on both sides, half for the freelancer, half for the company hiring them. A bit of background: technical projects ultimately need support. I quite like the car analogy. I've used it again and I'll use it here. When you buy a car, it needs ongoing maintenance. It needs servicing. It's going to need new tires. There might be issues with coil springs and suspension and window wipers and oil changes, all that stuff. A car needs looking after to keep it roadworthy and running. Software, automations, technical projects are very much the same. Now, the freelancer's blame in part comes from they are usually keen on winning the work and starting a new project. Now, that doesn't mean that they're, and most aren't super sales focused or greedy, but that's part of the reason they got into freelancing, is the enjoyment of new and varied projects. But they don't usually give us much thought about support. And this is true of the company hiring them. Usually they're much more focused on getting the thing done and ticked off than they are thinking about 12, 24 months further down the line. But I think both parties need to give this some thought, and certainly you, when hiring them, should be leading the way on this one. The wrong way to do it would be to have a loose agreement where you say, we'll contact you if we need anything more from you, or I'll email you if something goes wrong, or you just don't say anything at all. This can be difficult with freelancers. So sometimes it's fine, but a lot of the times they get tied up with other work, other projects, other commitments, other ventures. And when you message them in 6 months' time saying that there's a critical update or something's wrong, something's broken, they either ghost you, or they say, sorry, I can't help you with that anymore. Or they say, I can do it, but in a couple of weeks' time. And obviously none of those responses are going to be that useful to you. So what I recommend you do instead is, either if it's a larger project and more valuable to the business, think about setting up a small ongoing monthly retainer, which could be as simple as just having access to them for half an hour or 1 hour a month, or an hour a quarter even. Something really small, but it's some money coming into their pocket to keep them, invested in the project. If you're not keen on working with them with a kind of monthly payment or retainer, consider agreeing an emergency rate for when something does go wrong or you need them urgently. Now, most freelancers won't lead with this. Again, this is something you're going to have to agree. And this would be an elevated hourly rate. Think of it more like an emergency plumber call-out charge, where if you need them, they're going to be incentivized to act quickly. And yeah, have some discussion about this early on. Don't wait until it goes wrong to then try and negotiate it over email. Agree this from the start or towards the end of the project when it gets signed off. So if something really, really bad happens, you can pick up the phone and they're going to be super motivated to jump on it for you. You're agreeing to pay a little bit more, but I think that's a better option than risking having no support whatsoever. Finally, the third point is that a lot of freelancers will get booked up and take on other work. Now, if you're working with them on quite small projects, you might be a kind of lower priority to them, especially if they've won bigger pieces of work. I recommend you maintain a relationship with them over the long term. And I suggest, you guys take the lead on this one. Don't rely on them. Again, a lot of freelancers, they are good technical specialists at what they do. They are not great salespeople and relationship builders at times. So onus on you for this one, but consider meeting them face to face, invite them to your office, or just catch up with them every few months for a short video call. You don't have to do this with everyone, but if it's someone that's done some work for you or someone you've spoken to who might be suitable for a project in the future, it's good to keep that relationship going. Obviously, them getting booked up with other work and being unavailable might just be completely unavoidable for you, but keeping the relationship strong can help mitigate that. If you're looking to engage with a freelancer for a technical project within your business, but you're not too sure if freelancer is the right option, you're picking the right freelancer, or really how to navigate the relationship, it's something I can help you with. Feel free to book a call. You'll see a link to the booking page in the description for this video. I can use my background in recruitment and then 10 years of software engineering to help get you some confidence that you're making the right decision and get you on the right path.